मैं यहाँ पे एक बलि का बकरा बनने नहीं आया हूँ कि दैट आई विल बी अ वेरी सॉफ्ट टारगेट फॉर यू।
मैंने अपना गोल्ड बेच दिया अपने बच्चे को पढ़ाई के लिए, अब बाहर वालों को जरूरत नहीं है ये।
In 2010 the transit camp got started. 6 साल में आप 1600 लोगों को आप कश्मीर में एडजस्ट नहीं कर सकते।
Some organization wants separate homeland, some wants some poor Kashmir, some wants exclusive townships.
One day they say smart city, second they say exclusive zone for Pandits.
Government is power. अगर उनको उनकी गरज है बनाने के लिए कुछ नहीं होगा।
A full-blown insurgency broke out in Jammu and Kashmir in the late 80s, pulling the valley in the international spotlight. Ever since, much of the attention has revolved around the conflict between the insurgents and the armed forces. But there's one conflict that's not talked about as often, the one involving Kashmiri Hindus, also popularly called Kashmiri Pandits. At least 150,000 Kashmiri Pandits fled the valley in the early 90s. Only a handful chose to stay back. Most ran for their lives after slogans for Azadi were blared from neighborhood mosques.
Millions displaced and refugees caught between.
With the Bharatiya Janata Party in power at the centre and a coalition state government that relies heavily on the BJP, the issue of resettling the Pandits has taken centre stage once again. But are the Pandits ready to return?
We are the temple of Mata Kheer Bhavani in Kashmir. This is one of the biggest festivals of Kashmiri Pandits. Pandits from across the country still return here every year to worship Mata Kheer Bhavani. Even though they say that today is a day of pilgrimage for them and worship and they do not really want to talk about politics, there are banners that talk about that desire to come back home.
Within the community, there is a difference. Some organization wants a separate homeland, some wants some poor Kashmir, some wants exclusive townships. So because of this confusion, so Government of India is not interested as one team.
Pandits are split over how they should be resettled, but are clear about one thing. They want the freedom to choose when and how they live in Kashmir without any fear, without any threat.
वो जानबूझ के ये कह रहे हैं कि अपनी जगह आओ जहाँ के आप रहते थे। उनको पता है ये तो पॉसिबल ही नहीं है, वो इसलिए वो ऑप्शन दे रहे हैं। वो 4 ऑप्शन और भी दे सकते हैं, वो ऑप्शन नहीं दे रहे हैं। उस जगह तो हम जा ही नहीं सकते ना वापस।
Last month, Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti announced transit camps would be built at 3 locations for Pandits returning to the valley. 3 camps were made earlier, accommodating a group of Pandits that returned after a government initiative in 2008. The idea is to eventually take all Pandits from the transit camps and reintegrate them with the Kashmiri Muslims. But that is easier said than done.
फियर साइकोसिस रहता है। एक दिन मैं नाई के पास गया था एंड आई वाज जस्ट कटिंग माय हेयर। एक लड़का था, वो डाउनटाउन का। द मोमेंट ही सॉ मी दिस, उसने ये किया कि हिंदू है, तो उसने बहुत मतलब गालियाँ दी ऐसे मोदी को, इंडिया को।
The idea of separate colonies for the Pandits is being mooted for some time now.
Kashmiri Pandit aayenge?
Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti has also talked about it in the past.
कश्मीरी पंडित बरादरी उसी जज्बे के साथ वापस आएं, उसी मेल मिलाप के साथ रहें जिस तरह से वो 90 से पहले रहते थे। लेकिन सेपरेट कॉलोनीज की बात करना, हम ही महसूस करते हैं कि उससे नफरतें और दूरियां और बढ़ जाएंगी, न कि खत्म होंगी।
If they will leave separate colonies, that will create a communication gap. It will create.
Many, including separatist leaders who want India to cede Kashmir, say Pandit ghettos will breed exclusion and hate and be an even bigger security threat. Ensuring safety for the resettled Pandits is not the only problem. Pandits returning to the valley need jobs, and though they are being offered government jobs, economic rehabilitation remains a sore point, especially among the Pandits who chose to stay back in the valley during the exodus.
मैंने अपना गोल्ड बेच दिया अपने बच्चे को पढ़ाई के लिए। अब बाहर वालों को ज़रूरत नहीं है ये, उसको तो एजुकेशन भी फ्री है, खाना पीना फ्री है। ये हमारे को क्या मिलता है यहाँ पर?
प्रॉब्लम ये है कि गवर्नमेंट जो कुछ कर रहा है वो बाहर के कश्मीरी पंडित्स के लिए कर रहा है, जो माइग्रेट हुए थे। जो यहाँ पे कश्मीरी पंडित रह गए हैं, उनका क्या?
Pandits returning to the state is the big talking point in the valley these days. But beyond all the excitement and the political rhetoric, the Pandits say their patience is really wearing thin.